Hello, 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 and welcome everybody to the HR Plug Let's Get Plugged podcast. I am so excited that you are here to experience my first time going live on this platform. I appreciate everybody that's tuned in, whether you're listening on the podcast itself or you're watching on YouTube or Facebook. Thank you, and thank you for being here. I am LaShawn Davis. I am the host of Let's Get Plugged, and this is a part of the HR Plug. And the reason why this has all started and we are here is because I am very passionate about people having the knowledge, the tools, and the resources to be able to function and thrive at work. Regardless of whatever you do, I do not believe there's enough support out there for everyday working Americans like us. So I put together this platform to provide a avenue for you guys to ask questions, get support, get answers to the things that you need. And that's what this is all about. So it's really to prepare you for the now and prepare you for your promotion in the future and to just help you navigate through any type of HR challenges that you might be experiencing at work, whether you are an employer, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're an employee, whether you're a contractor, whomever you are. When you're spending the majority of your time helping somebody else make money, even if that somebody else is you, and you're relying on other people to do it, whether that's customers or employees, this is definitely a channel for you. So I am so glad that you guys are tuned in. If this sounds like something that you're going to want to hear about and see weekly, make sure you subscribe. We are here every Wednesday at 8 p.m. It's going to be an interactive show. I see a lot of people on here saying hi. I see Michelle Andrews. Hi, Michelle. How are you? Thank you for joining. I see HR Six Pack is in the building. Thank you so much. Hi, Mo. I see you're on here. Thank you so much for for joining. I am just excited for everybody that's in here. So if you're watching, make sure you check in and say hello. Let me know that you're supporting. Julia, I appreciate you loving the vision and the mission. It's definitely taking a lot of courage to do this. And when you think about it, I think about companies just aren't really doing enough to take care of their people. And we see that because we have the Great Resignation. We have people walking out of jobs. Just in the month of November, they just released the data, and 4.5 million people quit their jobs. There is a problem. And the problem is that employers are not taking care of the people the way that they should. So this platform will help you learn how to advocate for yourself so that you get what you need to be your very best self at work, and so that you can represent yourself well in the workplace so that people can respect who you are. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight, diving in tonight about virtual backgrounds, why I think they're horrible. You should ditch them and never use them, even and especially in business meetings and in a job interview. We're going to be talking about that. I have an amazing guest with me tonight, the Mr. JP Hightek. He is in the back. He's going to be joining us, and he is a true mastermind in helping you represent yourself well. He trademarks your brand, your individual brand of who you are. And he's going to share some tips and tools of how you can represent yourself well at work when you're in a virtual environment, not having to rely on that virtual background, but being able to use the tools that you have right there in your home to accentuate or enhance your presentation space so that you are someone that people can respect based off of the brand and how you present yourself. That's what we're going to be diving into tonight. So that's right, Julia. It's so important, respecting who you are. And I'm just so excited. And Kimberly JP is looking forward to meeting you. And he will be out here in a minute. I mean, I am excited he's here. I couldn't have asked for a more amazing guest for my launch. So we're going to get right into it. But before we do, there are some announcements that I do want to share with you. First, I want to tell you about a free event. This event is January the 14th, and it's absolutely free. It's being hosted by Five Finance, who is an amazing accountant that I've been able to connect with. I will be speaking at this conference, this summit, and a lot of amazing speakers are on this platform as well, including my guest tonight, JP. But make sure you mark your calendars. January the 14th, starting at 3 p.m., you can go to fivefinance.com and register for this event. It's called Connect and Elevate. And these subject matter experts will be walking you through how to elevate that area of your life, whether it's personally or professionally. And I am one to say you never want to turn down anything that's free. This is 100% free. So if you want to take time and find ways to invest in you that doesn't cost you anything, you definitely want to tune in on January the 14th to this event, okay? The other announcement that I want to share is something that the HR Plug is working on. We are also having a conference, and it's geared for HR professionals. And the conference is called Unplug. It's going to be March the 30th through April the 1st, and it's going to be in Atlanta. So if you know of any HR professionals that could use a good conference called Unplug to allow them to disconnect and get back and reset after everything that's been going on, like we were talking about the Great Resignation and things like that. It's a conference event dedicated solely for them. We'll be talking about that more as we go through this show weekly. Tonight, I really want to get to the reason why we are here, and that is to talk about your brand, your image, and how you show up to show out in the workplace. So, without further ado, let me get prepared to bring to you guys JP Hightek. So, JP is in the building. Hi, JP. How are you?
Hey, how's it going? Hi, LaShawn. I am so
Hey.
excited to be here. Thanks for inviting me. This is so fun.
This is fun. Listen, guys, I told JP this is going to be a very laid back podcast. Like, it is not, everybody already gets tensed up when they hear HR, right? Every time I got to talk to somebody or I said,
Right.
hey, you guys, can I talk to you when you get a minute? They think they're automatically in trouble because it's HR. This is not that kind of space. This is a safe space. We're very laid back. So get your questions ready. Get your questions prepared as we talk through tonight how to show up and be your best self at work, especially now that a lot more people are working remotely. There are some things that you can easily do to help enhance your presentation and your background when you're interacting and engaging with other people. And so that's what JP is going to be talking to us about. But first, I want to let JP introduce himself to you. Tell us a little bit about who you are and why you believe you are a asset to people in the workplace today.
All right. Well, again, like I said earlier, thank you so much for inviting me, right, for the episode premiere of the show. Hello, family. My name is JP Hightek, and I am a global image branding expert. What does that mean? Well, I help people, individuals, companies make an impact, right? Build a brand. I help them establish their presentation, their look. I help them speak without opening their mouth, right? I help people really impact the world because what we want is to build a business, not just a business, folks. We want to build a brand because a business can die, but your brand will live forever. And so that's what I do. I help organizations, large or small, really make a difference and be set apart, right? Really be unique and transform the world that we have here. We're all unique, right? We were all created in a unique way. However, unless you position yourself in a unique manner, nobody will see that uniqueness that you have, right? So what I do is really bring that out of you. And also I help employees, right? Really connect better with the people that they are leading or the co-workers and different things like that, because today a lot of people are working from remote location from home, and it is vital that we present ourselves and have our best foot forward. So in a nutshell, that's who I am, and that's what I do for people.
All right. Well, thank you for that. And I'm excited about the nuggets that you're going to be sharing with us tonight. And I first want to start about talking about virtual backgrounds, right? So, for those
Mm-hmm.
of you who are unfamiliar with a virtual background, it's when you can change your background to appear like anything. You can appear in outer space, you can appear on the beach, you can appear, anywhere. And a lot of people do it, or it was designed because a lot of people don't want to show what's in their background, right? They're trying to hide what's behind them because it's either messy, not professional, or what have you. So they came up with this concept virtual background. So JP, tell us, what do you think about virtual backgrounds? What is your take on virtual backgrounds, and should
Uh,
people be using it? And if so, like, when should they use it, or why?
oh boy, oh boy. Well, first of all, for the folks that don't know, right? I help people with live video, right? I am a cinematographer, graphic designer. So I do this for a living, from morning to night, right? We're talking brand designs, imagery, and all of that. So and we have people, we build their studios and things like that. And this is something that we hear a lot, right? Why can't I just use a virtual background? First thing first is virtual. Okay. Unless you are extremely advanced in setting up things virtually to look real. And see, the concept of virtual is for it to seem as if it was real, right? You're not virtual for it to look virtual, because the second you're seated, I don't know, in the living room, and you have the beach behind you. Everybody knows you're not at the beach, folks. You're in your living room. Is distracting. Is a problem, and sadly, the average person doesn't have the proper lighting, and we'll talk about the different type of lighting that you need in order to make that realistic looking. But the average person doesn't have the proper type of lighting, the 3 point lighting, and then the area lighting, and everything that's needed in order to sell that and make it appear as if, okay, this is where I am. Most people don't have that, so whenever they use it, they use the virtual background the wrong way, and it sends the wrong message. And your coworkers, your potential employers, or potential clients are distracted and phased off or turned off by that. And so I don't recommend that, right? Professionally, I do not recommend it, because believe it or not, based on my 15 plus years of experience, I've discovered that it is better to clean up your small space that you have, and really be intentional about the way you present yourself, versus putting a virtual setup there, which is going to end up hurting you in the long run. So ultimately, I would say I don't recommend it, simply because it's just not ideal. But if you really want to use that, then we'll talk about the things you could put in place in order to be able to use it.
And we have a question, from Michelle. She says, "I love some virtual background. What am I doing wrong?" And Michelle, it's not necessarily what you're doing wrong, but what could go wrong in the process, or what message you're sending by choosing the virtual background. So, virtual backgrounds aren't wrong, right? They're not wrong to use, but if you're truly trying to enhance your brand and your image and your presentation, it could come off as unrealistic. It could come off as amateurish, depending on what you're using. I know a lot of people use the blurred background, and
Mm-hmm.
one of the reasons why I wanted to do this topic is because job interviews, like, a lot of people are doing remote job interviews. And I had somebody not get selected for a job, not because of, what they said in the interview or what they didn't say, but because of a calendar that they had posted on the wall behind them during the interview, which was a distraction to the interviewers. And the calendar was The Walking Dead. So, the AMC show The Walking Dead, it was a calendar that was on the back, of this person interviewing, and they gave him the feedback that, you know, we're not going to move forward because we don't believe that gore and horror and all of that aligns with who we are as a company or a business, and we're not knocking anything that you like from your personal taste, but it's not going to work for us for that reason. So he missed an opportunity because someone judged him or made a subconscious bias about him based on something in the background of his video, right? You heard people say, "Why y'all all up in the background?" Because it's just natural to be all up in the background. So one of the things that we want to teach you is how to not rely on virtual backgrounds and get your space where it needs to be so that you can show up and not have to deal with things that could happen in the process. So we got some questions over here, JP. So someone says, what about so we have Tremaine. Hi Tremaine, how are you? You guys,
Hey, how's it
that
going?
is my sister-in-law. Hey Tremaine. So her question is, what about a company logo? What if it's a company logo, virtual background, JP? And do you think that's okay?
Well, the thing is that think virtual altogether, right? Whenever you put something virtually, right, using Zoom or the softwares, like some people put like the blurry background, or you put a company logo, you have to think about one thing: how elegant and professional does it look? Whenever it is virtual, 9 times out of 10, again, I've been doing this for 15 years, right? I've worked on movie sets and all of those things. We build studio for people. It will clash with your foreground, right? The only time your background, your virtual background, will be working perfectly is if you have the proper type of lighting, okay? And your foreground complements the background, and your background complements the foreground. A lot of times, what happens is that whenever people put a virtual background and they're moving, right? The software is trying to track you, and now you have some elements that are moving on your left side, your right side, and it just doesn't look clean. As a matter of fact, it looks extremely distracting. And ultimately, what happens is that your potential client or your potential employer or coworker, what have you, will feel like you don't know what you're doing, because as you're speaking, they're looking at all that movement happening. Even though the background itself is not moving, you're moving as you're speaking. And all that is creating a not very pleasant experience.
Mm-hmm.
Versus if it was a real background, right? Already, depending on how you set everything up, they will want to know more about you. Let me share some examples, right? I've had a client of mine that were having problem converting clients and different things like that, right? And then they came to us, and the first thing, right, the first thing I told the client was, first of all, to take away the way they're presenting themselves on camera. They asked me, how is the way they're presenting themselves on camera help their business? My response to them was, okay, today, almost every company is embracing the virtual lifestyle. And the way we present ourselves virtually is everything today. So he asked, okay, what's the best way? So we took the time to help him set up a very nice space with proper lighting, nothing fancy. But right after he did that, long story short, he tripled his conversion rate. And he was so happy simply because he understood and implemented the changes, right? Those are the things that we want to think about whenever we're using this online space to really connect with people. Because remember, people.
I guess JP, uh, you guys check in and let me know you're still here. I think we got disconnected from JP for a moment. You guys still there? All right,
I'm not sure what
Tremaine.
happened. We just got disconnected. Those are the
Yeah.
type of things that happen live, right?
Uh-huh.
So as I
All
was
right.
saying, right, people connect with people, and so they want to connect with you, and they want to know your story, right? What do you love? What are the things that you're into? And as you're showing what you have in your real background, they're like, oh wow, so you like this type of movies? Oh, you're a superhero fan. Guess what? I love superheroes and different things like that. And now the potential interview now is changed to a pleasant conversation. Have you watched the latest, Spider-Man and different things like that, which will help you in connecting with people, and ultimately you will build a bond, and that is what this is all about.
Absolutely. Great, great perspective. So we got some more questions here. So Let's see here. So Julia says, I don't use virtual backgrounds, but I have three paintings that are black art behind me. How do you all feel about that? JP, what's your thoughts?
Honestly, that is fantastic, right?
All
Because
right.
if you have art behind you, you like those arts. And that speaks about your personality, the things that you're into. That is actually very nice. Show it, right? Rock that unapologetically. I'll tell you that that is very nice to put up because you will not believe it. Somebody will see that and ask you, hey, I really like that artwork you have behind you. Where did you get it? Bam. And now you just open a different type of conversation, right?
Right.
And now you guys are going to go ahead and start talking about something else. And that is part of who you are. That is part of your interest, the things that you look at. And maybe you went on a trip and then that has a story. Remember, every single element that we have in our background, in our studio, has a story behind it. So we can actually take the time and share. In my studio here, I have so much going on. I can tell you the story behind every single item that I have. Why do I have this light? Why do I have red? Why do I have that blue light on the wall? Why do I have the bookshelf? Why do I have it set up the way I have? All that, I have a story to share. And so it is a joy because the second somebody asks you about your story, which is what you're displaying in your background before opening your mouth, guess what's happening? You'll be excited because it's like, oh, you're actually interested in knowing me. And I guarantee you, when you're in the workplace, your boss, your superior will ask you about those things and will help them know more about who you are, your personality, the things you're into and the things you don't like and stuff like that. And just make it all around fun experience for you, right? And whoever you're having a conversation with.
Yeah. Thanks for that, JP. Tremaine, I want to touch on something you just said. You know, you said, I agree with JP about it not looking clean. In my company, it's best to use a virtual background. So you are absolutely right, Tremaine. I have been on calls and meetings with companies, and they have their branded backgrounds either with their slogan or their logo, or things like that. And I would say if it's a company expectation, definitely go for it, do it, because you're among other people who are doing it too. And it's kind of an expectation that has been set by your company. And likely that expectation has been set to avoid all the other things that we've been talking about tonight that could be distracting for people who decided to ultimately go a different route with the virtual background. So when you're dealing with your employer, absolutely that is the best route to go. When you're doing, just make sure, if you interviewing externally, you change that,
Right,
if
right.
you interview somewhere else. But because that happens sometimes, the setting that you last use is going to be the same setting that's going to be there every time you log in. So if you forget that, oh, I was talking to my sister and we were just having fun and I was acting like I was on the beach, and then you log in right on time and see you're still on the beach, it's automatically going to be there. So it's those kind of things that you want to be mindful of so that you don't make a mistake and mess up
Mhm.
when you're not supposed to be showcasing something that you are ordinarily using. So thank you so much for that, Tremaine. And Julia says also, she was a little apprehensive about it, but the feedback is awesome. So thank you for that, JP as
Absolutely. Yes.
well. So,
Yes.
also, I want to show you guys a quick clip of a Zoom fail that kind of gives context to what we were just talking about, how sometimes you could go into a virtual background, or, they have so many different things out there that you forget. And then when you start the meeting, you start embarrassed or you can't
Hmm.
figure out how to get rid of it. Here's an example for that as we take this quick break.
Mr. Ponton, I believe you have a filter turned on in the video settings. You might want to
Uh,
take, take
we're
a look.
trying to, can you hear me, Judge?
I can hear you. I think it's a filter in
It
the.
is, and I don't know how to remove it. I've got my assistant here. She's trying to, but uh, I'm prepared to go forward with it. That's, I'm here live. I'm not a cat.
So you guys see how he's struggling there, right? I'm here, I'm live, but he's a cat, right? And you don't want that to happen to you when you're dealing with it. And that's a bit extreme, but that's a true story. That was something that I found out there, just to kind of hone in on the point here of being mindful of what you represent yourself. And the last thing I want to say about virtual backgrounds too, have you ever been on a call with someone who's using a virtual background? And JP touched on this a little bit earlier. He was like, things are moving and elements are moving. Well, you'll see parts of their shoulder disappear, or their neck disappear, or their earrings disappear. That happens as well. So we want to make sure that we are also mindful of what we look like. If you're wearing white and the background is white and it can't detect the difference of where your shirt is versus where the background is, everything will disappear and you'll just be ahead sitting there. So it's these types of things that you definitely want to be mindful of, especially if you are interviewing for a job, because that is the wrong time to make a mistake, like we just saw with Mr. Cat in the last video. So let's segue into JP. Can you share with us the one thing that distracts you most? So when you are meeting a client, let's say for the first time, and JP is infamous for doing everything on Zoom and everything, camera, right? You got to turn your camera on. So, what is the one thing that immediately distracts you when you're on a call with someone you're meeting for the first time?
Actually, don't hate me, but is the wrong lighting. Right.
Okay.
Lighting is a big deal. Right. Honestly, right. For example, somebody will be in a meeting and then the window will be behind them. Right. The window being behind them is going to make your face darker. Let me show you guys something, for example. So as you can see, this is, and I did this on purpose, right? I muted my microphone to speak to my Alexa so it doesn't work yours up. But this is the effect you will get, right? Imagine the background blue light is the window. This is what happens, right? And as you're speaking, the only thing I'm focused on is that you don't have enough lighting. Let me go ahead and turn it back on. All right. So that is what happens. Now, Alexa is telling me to keep it for a little longer.
Alexa won't let you be great.
I know, right? Alexa doesn't want me to be great on camera, but that is perfectly fine. I do have a backup for all these things. I'm about to go ahead and turn it back on right now. So let's go ahead and turn it on. There we go. So the wrong lighting can really, really, really cause a lot of problem. Now, sometimes, of course, so some people will tell you, well, I'm just going to face the window. Okay, great idea. The cheapest source of light is your window. Now, however, depending on the time of day, okay, the light that's coming through your window can be overblown, right? Where you look pale on that video, right? I was on a call with somebody where I'm not sure if it was their blind, but half of their mouth was like shadow, and then the other side was super bright. So now this person is speaking with an additional lip on their face. And that was distracting. I mean, I tried to focus, but I was looking at all that. I was like, oh my God, this shouldn't happen. Or because you rely on the window so much, now you're having a meeting around, when the sun is going down, and now you're struggling for having the proper visibility, which is why it is important to have the correct, nothing expensive, but correct lighting, right? The second thing that distracts me is the wrong color selection. Like you just mentioned something earlier, right? For example, when they're using a virtual where their head will be showing simply because they may have a green in the background, they're wearing green, and as they activate that, the green removes their entire body and they have a floating head. They didn't realize that will be happening, or the image that is selected is clashing with the color selection of their shirt, their attire, and now you have a see-through, right? Like you see the logo of the image through their shoulders or through their chest and stuff like that as they're speaking. They didn't realize that will be happening, right? Because the average person does not understand color selection, color combination, and how that can really impact the overall look that you're trying to put forth. Well, you will never have to deal with any of that if it's not virtual, right? It is real background, not having to deal with anything like that, which is very, very important. So those will be the things I'll tell you that, is very distracting to me. But I wanted us, if possible, tonight to also talk about the advantages of doing it right, right? What can you get from actually taking the time to do it right, taking the time to be intentional about your space, be intentional about the type of camera you're using or how you position the camera, right? Instant credibility. I'm going to repeat that. Instant credibility. As we all know, we say it all the time. When we're going to apply for a new job, we have to be bring our A game. We have to be dressed professionally. We have to look apart and all those things. Our resume needs to be top of the line. It needs to be written the right way. Well, now your virtual space need to be properly and professionally set up, right? And now professional doesn't mean expensive, but taking the time and understanding that we need to make sure that we have a decent webcam, that we have decent lighting, that we are having a decent space, that we're not really all over the place and looking like we just rolled out of bed. That will help us, right? Seal more deals. That will help us, be considered more than the competition, right? Because that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to beat the competition. When we're all applying for the same job, we're trying to put everything in our corner so that they can remember us, right? So depending on how you showed up, depending on how you presented yourself, now your potential employer is going to remember you. I was offered a promotion when I used to work in corporate America simply because they love the way I present myself every time on a Zoom call, right? And now they even asked me to help the IT department help everyone improve their presentation because they were having a hard time with their supervisors and all of that, the way they were showing up, which was a compliment to me, but they didn't know that actually that's what I did for a living. So people care about the way you present yourself. And I can guarantee you, if the way you present yourself already impress your potential employer, they will not forget about you. Because the average person is not doing that. And that, believe it or not, is taking a lot of chances away from you. Because the second they meet somebody like me, for example, if I'm gunning for the same job, and if I have all my ducks in a row, well, I'm putting more chances in my corner. So I want to encourage you to really, really take the time and do that. And whenever we go into consultation with clients, we just give them the rundown of, okay, if you get this type of things, then things will go. Now, besides that, if, for example, you have a small business, right, the simple fact of how you present yourself is going to instantly make the person want to listen to you, right? Depending on the way you present yourself, they're either going to take you seriously or they're not going to want to listen to you because, they're going to be like, is not going to work, right? So that is something that we want to think about. I am seeing in the comment section, Tremaine Davis said, JP, what the position of the camera? I'm not sure I understand that question. If you're talking about what is the best position of your camera, the best position of the camera will be at head level, which is why whenever we're using our phones or what have you, you may want to get like a desk phone tripod, because the second you position your camera where is angled below, right? A lot of times people will have maybe their phone or whatever, and it's going to be angled below and you're just on top. That is it gives like a DZ type of look. You don't want to do that. You want to think about person face to face when you see this in front of somebody face to face. So position your camera eye level, right? So that is at the same level at your shoulder, right? At your head, and you center that. And that is the best way to position your camera. So it is not all over the place. So one thing you want to think about, and you also want to think about stabilization. Even if you have an onboard camera on your laptop, I don't recommend using that because most onboard webcam are not very clear, right? Even our phones now, they have 4K on there. So I will say get a webcam, right? An external webcam. trust me, they're very affordable now. A 1080p external webcam will go a long way with a very affordable $25 table tripod for that webcam. You just put it right there, and it's stable. And I guarantee you, it will look a whole lot better than your onboard webcam that you have in there.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So you hit us with a lot, JP. Let me see if I can do a recap for the people real quick. I told JP, listen, none of us are tech, right? We just basic everyday workers. So I need we got to find this, in a way that's going to work well so that I can understand it at least. So the window, definitely you're saying don't sit with a window behind you and be
Mhm.
mindful of the time of day if you're going to use a window as your lighting. There, you also recommend, getting an external light if you can, to always control, not relying on the sun, but
Mhm.
control your light setting. And I've seen people do that. The thing that with me, I mean, I wear glasses clearly, and when I used to use a ring light, and the ring
Mhm.
lights put the little circles on your eyes.
I was just about to
Uh,
say that. Yep. Yep.
and so ring lights, it's always like, so I have, JP actually has this list, and I'll tell him to tell us where it is, of recommendations that you can get off of Amazon for things that could really quickly enhance your view. So I stopped using ring lights. And I have actual, I don't even know what do you call these things, JP?
It's a soft box.
A
It's called a soft
softbox,
box.
and
Yep.
it's it makes a world of difference because I wear glasses. So it's little things like that you want to be mindful of. So lighting is a great topic. Also, what you wear. Because
Mhm.
it's true, we're always mindful about what am I going to wear for this interview so I look good, I present myself. Now we have to start thinking about the background being an extension of your look.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so making sure you're wearing the right colors and making sure that you're not blending in with your background, right? Those are things that are important, and that your background is appropriate, and decluttered is another thing.
Mhm.
JP helped me with my background setup, right? And y'all, the first thing he told me, you got way too much stuff and you need to get rid of some of this stuff. And I was like, first of all, this is my space. Don't come up in here trying to tell me how to feng shui my space. But, he was right, because it was very distracting. So I went from probably 20 different abstract pictures, little small pictures on my wall, to one. And a bookcase with one thing in each, so it's these little things that you think my space is a representation of me. Well, it is, but when you're an entrepreneur and you're engaging with a client, it ain't about you at that point. It's about the
Mhm.
client.
Mhm.
When you're an employee and you're interviewing for a job, it's not about you at that moment. It's about the employer. So you have to be mindful of what's in your background space, to help you represent yourself well. So lighting, great point. Want to touch on, Tremaine, about the camera. One of the things that I think people do a lot of, and JP, you let me know, what you think about this, but laptops don't literally mean put it on your lap. Okay, it doesn't. It, it doesn't mean you go on camera with the computer on your lap. I've seen that so many times, and people look like they have eight chins, or you
Mhm.
have this under view of the person. So to your point that you said earlier, eye level, right? You want your camera to be as if a person is right in front of you and you're having a conversation. If you have to gleam your eyes down a little bit, you might you might be a little too low. So
Mhm.
what can you
Mhm.
do? They have laptop stands that you can put on your desk to raise
Mhm.
your laptop a little higher. So think about getting that, but you want to look like you're having a conversation. So when you're talking, you're not talking like this, and you're not
Right.
talking like this. You're talking eye level with that person. So that was a good point, Tremaine. Thank you for bringing that up. And JP, thank you for touching on that. And so I want to kind of segue a little bit into the background. So let's say you are in a position and you cannot change anything, right? Like you have a small space and maybe your kitchen is behind you, or maybe
Mhm.
you're in a space, you're a student and you're in the bedroom because somebody else is working remote from another area, right? There are do it yourself ways to create your own room divider. And I discovered this that I thought was like, wow, that's so neat, because it's almost cheap to do. So
Mm-hmm.
they have room dividers that you literally can buy, which looks like an accordion shaped wall, and you can just plop it behind you. And they range in all kind of prices, but if you put yourself in a little corner, get a room divider and it has a pattern or something on it, it's not just a blank canvas wall behind you, but it adds some spunk to your space. Um, if you're very artsy or crafty and you like do-it-yourself projects, I have seen where people have taken furniture boxes or large boxes, and if you think science fair project, the 3 panels, they tape them together and cover them with wallpaper and stand that
Mm-hmm.
behind you. And immediately you have a room divider that costs you under 20 bucks.
Mm-hmm.
So take the time to do that if you're unable to change the space before you decide to go the virtual background route, because like we said earlier, it makes a world of difference. So JP, I have another question for you.
Let's go.
Hi Steve, how are you doing?
Hey,
JP,
Steve.
Steve says hello.
Hello.
And we have some new people that has joined us. So guys, we're talking about virtual backgrounds and how to present yourself to show up well in the workplace or in business meetings with your clients. I want to talk about sound, JP. Can we talk about sound for a
Let's
minute?
talk about it. Let's talk
So,
about it.
should I get a microphone, or is the microphone that's a part of my computer enough? Or is there like an external microphone I should, invest in if I'm just doing like a meeting at work? What's your take on that?
My take will be get an external microphone, right? The onboard microphones that we have um, are not that great, right? That's why a lot of if you've ever noticed a lot of call center jobs or stuff like that, they will tell you to purchase a headset that has a microphone that is coming down your mouth like that, right? Because you're gonna be on calls with other people, and they want to hear you clearly. And those mics, those headset microphones are like $30. It's $20, $30 and stuff like that. And they sound fantastic. They're just USB. You plug it in there and boom, you're in business. And that helps as well with audio treatment, right? Because if you don't have a traditional studio, you may have heavy echo in the space that you're in. Having the mic very close to your mouth helps a lot with the audio treatment. And it just removes, again, that distraction as somebody's listening to you on a phone call or in a conversation. They can really hear you clearly, and that is very, very crucial. So don't use any onboard mics. Now, professionals will tell you that audio is the most important aspect of everything, right? We're talking about video and everything, but professionals will tell you the first thing you should even upgrade, if you have to upgrade anything and you don't have a lot of money, and there's the one thing you have to upgrade, that will be your microphone, your audio. People can bear a terrible image, a terrible video with a very good audio. But the one thing they cannot stand, if they were to choose, is a very, very bad audio with a top of the line image video, right? They can't take that, right? Because before they can see you, they have to listen to you, right? So please take the time to make sure you have something like that. And there's so many microphones now that are for the folks that really want to go professional. They're, mics now you can use that are like $90. The pod mic, you can use that. It is fantastic, right? Again, folks, I do have a link for all of my gear that I use that I recommend. I will provide that after this show so that LaShawn puts it in the video description for folks that are interested and want to go check it out. I'll provide her that link. But the pod mic is like $99, right? And it doesn't break the bank. A lot of times I tell people, well, look at all the money we're spending on our phones, cell phones, and different stuff. This matters. This is actually what's going to pay the bills, right? We're talking about our jobs here. So taking the time and investing a little bit is actually very important. So having the pod mic and having a mixer with an XLR cable, right, with a swivel mic arm like the one I have right now, or just a table microphone holder, table microphone holder that I know is like $60. They even have cheaper than that. And so ultimately, you're going to spend about $300 and have a state-of-the-art audio quality. When people actually hear you speak, they'll be like, oh my God, you sound really amazing. But all of those things are what's gonna make you stand apart. All of those things is what's gonna make you impress more and really get them to remember you or select you out of the competition, right? That's what's going to help you separate from everybody else, because most people are not taking the time to spend some money into what is actually paying their bills. So again, take the time to do that. You won't regret it.
Absolutely. Listen, investing in you is a non negotiable when you're trying to elevate or promote in life. Because if you're not willing to invest in you, no one else will either. So, what does that investment look like depends on how high you're trying to go. And JP said we can invest in the things that we want to invest in, whether it's a new phone, whether it's a new outfit, whether it's a new purse. We have to see ourselves as investment worthy. Okay. And that's how you build your brand. If every time I see you, you are on point, you look nice, you're investing in your clothes. If every time I see you speak and you're presenting well or you're interviewing well, then that means you're investing into your sound, your knowledge base. Everything we do in life is an investment. So the question you have to ask yourself is, what am I investing in now? What am I spending my money on? And is it a waste? What am I getting in return from that investment? I challenge you to think about how much are you investing in you to help you shine like the stars that you are. Because only you know you the best that you know you. And everybody else only gets to know you based on how you present yourself to them. So it's so important that you don't minimize the importance of finding yourself a value and worthiness to invest in. So thank you for that information. And like you said, once I get the link, then I will share that with you guys so that you can at least peruse it and see, even if you don't change everything at once, you can see what is it that I might need to look at changing or, what have you. So great
One thing that I
conversation.
wanted to add to it,
Okay,
if I
go
may,
ahead.
LaShawn, yeah, I wanted to add to that because I've heard this before. As somebody tell me, well, it's just a job, right? I'm not going to spend money on somebody else's company, but at the same time, right? I'll tell you one thing. Here you are, right? I'm going to be real. This is 2022 for the folks that know me. I'm very, very honest because when we're talking about elevating and really improving our lives, this is what this is all about. The same people will be complaining that they're not getting a raise, they're not getting a promotion, they're not getting all the stuff that they're praying about. But when it comes down to really investing into those things, that's going to allow them to be noticed by the people. And let me be very, very, very honest with you. If you notice, and we all do, if you can notice whenever somebody has a professional camera, a professional office, a professional presentation, instantly everyone notices. If you notice it, I guarantee you they will notice yours as well. So, like I said earlier, they asked me to go ahead and help the entire company. Why? I was just being professional every single time I showed up. My employers, my superiors, my managers noticed what I was doing, even asked me to help them with it. I guarantee you that was for more money, right? So the thing is, why wouldn't you invest in the thing that pays the bills and the thing that's going to allow you to be better? And if you're ever going to do anything outside of your job, if you're ever going to do that, if you're ever going to be considered for anything outside of your job in the professional world, why not invest into things that you're going to own? You're not giving it to the company. You're going to own, and that is going to take you a long way, right? That is got to be a reflection that everybody has if you don't have it. What is the thing that you care about? Is it a reflection on self-improvement and being perfect, or is it simply a reflection on not important and complaining? I don't complain. I try to make sure that I get it done. And in today's world, you can buy an iPhone for $2,000, right? It's close to that now, $1,500 and all of that. And you can use that professionally with the proper lighting and really stand apart and make money. There's multiple ways you can make money. And I can tell you right now, it's all about the way you position yourself. Positioning is something that if you don't position yourself, do not expect to receive the blessing. Blessing only comes for those that are expecting it, right? So in order to receive the blessing, position yourself in order to receive it. and only those that are positioning are receiving it. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Man, that listen, if you don't expect the blessing, JP said, don't even think you're going to get it. You have to position yourself to receive it. Wow, that is really, really good. So what are you positioning yourselves for? Are you positioning yourselves for that next position? Are you positioning yourself for that promotion? Are you positioning yourself to present yourself well? This is beyond just work, as JP put it. This is who you are. This is your trademark. People will remember who you are, what you look like, more than what you say or what you do, right? So what type of lasting impressions are you leaving? Right? So these are things that you want to think about, and what does that investment look like for you? So we have some comments coming out. We got Gloria saying, this is deep. Love it. Thank you so much, Gloria. We have Olivia. Thank you, in the house. Awesome insight. Kim says, thank you so much, JP. This has been very knowledgeable. Julia is saying, okay, JP, expect the blessing and position yourself for it. So awesome. Thank you, thank you, thank you for all the comments and all the things that you guys are checking in. Cree is in the house. Hey, Cree, she's saying, I love
First
Japanese
Lady
theme.
Creed.
Yes, that is the Mrs. JP Hightek saying that she loves Japanese themed room dividers. Yes, they are.
Those are amazing, by the way.
Yes.
Those are amazing.
They're so serene, right? They automatically make you feel calm, right? So if it's an intense meeting you're walking into, when you see those lotus flowers and those Japanese cherry blossoms, it kind of calms you down a little bit. So great call out there. Hey, Melissa. And she says, if you don't recognize your own worth, then others might miss it too. Absolutely. So
Absolutely.
it does,
Yep.
I mean, self-awareness has everything to do with it. When you walk into a situation confidently, people are going to believe you. If you walk in there apprehensively and I don't know, I think I might want this, they're going to think they might not want to do it for you. So thanks. Good point there, Melissa, as well. So JP, this has been
Yes, ma'am.
phenomenal. You guys, show JP some love. If you guys enjoyed this live tonight, this conversation, let JP know. Drop it in the comments. Let him know. Encourage him, y'all. He was my first guest. And I told him that we would be very receiving of him. And so it was such an engaging conversation. So
Yes,
I
ma'am.
appreciate your time, and I appreciate you coming on here, sharing your expertise with us. But what I'd like to do is give you an opportunity, if there are some people on here, right? Let's say, and they're just unsure. They're not sure. I don't know if my background is right, or I don't know. I'm going to ask JP a favor, y'all. I'm going to ask him to do this for me. So JP has on his website where you can book a free consultation with him. If you want him to quickly critique your background and tell you what you need to change with your sound, your look, your lighting, and just kind of walk you through and give you some quick advice, book that consultation and let him set you up for his service that he's only doing for our viewers, y'all. Isn't that amazing? He will sit and take some time, kind of go through everything with you. Now, y'all represent me well. Don't have me regretting that I asked him to do this for you guys. But he is definitely a mastermind at what he does. And if you connected to my link, my YouTube, when I first launched this channel about 3 months ago, you'll see all of them videos are gone, right? Because I got with JP and he helped me, and he's willing to do the same for you. So book a consultation with him on his website, jphightek.com, and we're going to talk about how you can connect with him in a moment. But we talked about the investment. Take the time to invest in yourself and at least find out, where should you start? If you don't even know where you should start, where should you start? When you look at that grid on your next webinar or your next meeting with colleagues or your peers, you want to be the one that stands out in that box. And JP is the man that can definitely help you do that. So he is doing that as a courtesy for us. If you want to take advantage of that, go to his website, book the consultation, talk to him about the service and what he can do for you, and let him work his magic in your space. And then if you do that, take a before and after picture. Like, show us so that I can show everybody else the difference that it made, because the proof is in the pudding, right? When people lose weight, you really don't tell till you see that before and after picture. Take a before and after picture. I think I even have one of my space before and my space after that I might even post to give you guys an idea of where we started versus where we are now. But I appreciate you, JP, for doing that, and for our team here so that we can represent and show up well. How can people connect with you outside of that? So we talked about your website. Are you on social media? Are you on YouTube? Where are you at? Where can they find you?
Absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, like we said, right, my website, jphightek.com. My name is right there on the screen. So just .com, jphightek.com for the folks that are listening to the podcast. That's my website. You can, like, again, I'm doing this just for you guys, right? LaShawn asked me 30 minutes free critique, right? And after that, if you need to book for anything else, we can talk about that. But this is what I do. And so I will be more than happy to connect with you and tell you real quick the things that you should go ahead and start implementing in order to, upgrade your space, your look, and things like that, your brand, and really could look apart. Now, social media, I am on all social media, but one thing that most people don't know, I'm on YouTube, right? That's my YouTube channel that you're seeing right there, JP Hightek Reviews. Go ahead, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I go live every single week, and we help people improve in the professional space, content creators, and different things like that. Right? Go ahead and connect with me there. But I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, and all of that. This is my Instagram. Go ahead and connect with me on Instagram. Again, the same name, JP Hightek. I would love to connect with you there, and I'm very active as well. That is Facebook, and I can see right there, LaShawn does have some messages.
Oh.
That's what happens on Facebook, right? But Facebook, same name, JP Hightek. Connect with me, right? Message me, follow me, and I'll follow you back, right? One thing that I would say that we're in 2022, and networking is everything now, right? Networking is the new currency, right? Let's network together. Without networking, I wouldn't be here today, right? LaShawn and I wouldn't be on the same broadcast today. Is because we're able to network together, leverage technology for that, and build a community surrounding the things that we love the most. And that is what we're doing today, right? I was very, very excited to help LaShawn with her branding, right? Making her look $1 million, right? Like I always say, you have to look $1 million before somebody can pay you that $1 million,
Come
right?
on, I
That
received
is
that.
crucial. It is crucial, right? So that is what we do. We help you look and sound $1 million, right? And congratulations, LaShawn. This episode premiere was a success, right? For the folks that are joining us. If you like the design of this show, you like the look, the microphone, the studio setup, I am happy to say that I am the one who worked behind scenes, right, to make this happen for LaShawn and the HR Plug. And so we're excited to, keep working together and looking forward to that Unplug conference that is happening on the 30th of March. 3 days, and I'm excited about that. So looking forward to that event. All right.
Awesome. Yes, yes. Thank you so much. I was showing the love, JP. We have Rose saying, thanks, JP. Great tips. We had Steve
Appreciate
saying,
that.
great show. I love the conversation. We have the VL Davis Group Corporation. Great insight, JP. JP is the truth. He absolutely is. It's definitely, time
Hey,
well
Steve.
spent. Olivia, thank you, JP. JP, you about to take over my show in a minute.
Thanks,
I don't know. Hold
Olivia.
on, y'all.
Appreciate that.
Gloria, JP is an official greatest of all time status at this point. Thank you so much for the impact. JP, they are so appreciative, and so am I. So thank you guys. Make sure you connect with him. I'm going to have him go backstage for a moment as we wrap up the show. And I just want to say again, thank you guys for coming to the first episode of Let's Get Plugged. This is what this is going to be. This is what you can expect. Every episode, I'm going to give you something that you can take back and actually apply. This episode, I'm allowing you guys an opportunity to work with JP to have that session with you and get your backgrounds right so that you can make sure you show up and present yourselves well. So my favor I'm asking in return is you guys, if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Make sure you tell your people you care about, your friends, your coworkers also to subscribe to this channel. There are a lot of great things in store, a lot of phenomenal guest topics and points the last thing I want to say is, as I mentioned earlier, this platform is for you. So if you have a question that you'd like to discuss, or like for me to break down or answer for you, or you're encountering a workplace dilemma, situation, or problem, you can email your question to me, or you can DM me your question on my social media platforms, the HR Plug on Instagram, Facebook. Let me know what your question is, and I will answer your question. And I will also share not your identity, but your question on live. I'm thinking about maybe committing one live a month just to Q&A, and having some of my HR friends come along and answer some of your HR burning questions. You guys let me know, what do you guys think about that? Is that something that you all think will be helpful, just to host a session where you guys can just ask questions and get answers real time from real HR professionals? Kind of let me know what you guys are thinking, if you think this will be helpful or not, because it's all really about supporting you guys and helping you guys be the best advocates that you can be for yourself. So if this was great, definitely subscribe, tell someone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget about Elevate. The Elevate and Connect virtual summit, January the 14th. Don't forget about the Unplugged conference here in Atlanta. Phenomenal speaker lineup. If you know anybody in HR, or anybody who could use a bit of HR support, this is definitely the conference for them. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Make sure you come back and see us next Wednesday live right here at 8 o'clock. This was Let's Get Plugged, and thank you so much for joining.